What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Occasional Dilemma podcast. Occasional Dilemma Gaming podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, remember that you can watch live on Twitch, twitch.tv/SandoTV every Thursday night at around 9 p.m. Maybe a little bit before, maybe a little bit after. 9-ish. And if you're watching on Twitch, thank you guys. Augur of Doom, Tamara, and others, thank you for hanging out today. Air Dash, welcome back, man. Producer of the show. What's told again today? Well, that's good. You got that taken care of, man. Along with me is my cohorts. I have Tech Gladiator. How are you doing, sir? Greetings and salutations.
Yo, what's up?
And I have Tilgar.
Hey, what's up?
And we just got through playing a long session of Elite Dangerous. A lot of fun. But we got a lot of gaming news. What else have you guys been playing? Tilgar, you've been playing Witcher 3 and some various games this week.
Yeah, Witcher 3. Of course, that's just a fun game. Got to take a break with some other games. Of course, playing some old Wolfenstein, Old Blood. And I'm currently replaying New Order.
Cool. How is I haven't got to New Order yet, because I said when I do my my Wolfenstein to the new Colossus, I'm going to play a full franchise playthrough.
That's good. Yeah, it's you played Old Blood, right?
Yeah, I played Old Blood.
Same play style. So.
And by franchise playthrough, I mean I'm going to play Old Blood again, play New Order, and then play the new Colossus.
Yeah, I might get the Colossus too when it goes on sale, probably.
So how's New Order so far?
New Order?
Yeah.
I mean, I've always loved it, so it's good. You know, the first person shooter. So if you played if you like Wolfenstein games, you'll like these.
Awesome. Tech.
What is this game that's playing? Is this
This is Assassin's Creed. Yeah, this is the game that I've been playing this week. Assassin's Creed. This is the very beginning moments of Assassin's Creed Origins, and I've been having a blast with it. Plays a lot more like interesting enough, this game so far, early impressions, it plays a lot more like a Horizon Zero Dawn than it does an Assassin's Creed game, if that makes sense. Which is pretty awesome. I like that the side quests have their own story. And you know, in past Assassin's Creed, what they do is they take the map and just try to fill it with busy work. And so you end up doing like the same 3 or 4 side missions over and over and over and over and over. They just recycle them, right? And they don't feel they don't feel any different. They don't feel like they have any weight. But here, no, the side missions. Each side mission has its own story and stuff to do. Of course, there's still collectibles in the world and things like that. There's a lot of that, but it's more interesting. It has a unique leveling system, and so far, I'm really enjoying Assassin's Creed Origins. It's probably not as well polished as an Horizon Zero Dawn, but it's definitely heading in the right direction, if you know what I mean. But what have you been?
Not polished, like
it's still got bugs. There's still bugs. I've ran into a few hiccups.
Gotcha.
A lot of games have a few hiccups. So.
Yeah, you know, we were looking at how large this map is for this game, and how much detail has gone into it, and I'm not surprised there aren't bugs, to be honest. Like, they've had a lot of you can tell they took some time off to develop this game. Of course, we didn't get an Assassin's Creed last year.
When you spend your $60, your hard-earned cash, and you get a game that just keeps on going. You can play to your heart's content. Or at the same time, if you just don't want to do all the side quests, you can just ram yourself right on through, whichever you prefer. So, I mean, you feel like you get your money's worth. I'm thinking, like Witcher 3, you feel like you got your money's worth.
Right. And I am probably I'm probably about 16 hours in, and I'm only level 17 of 40, still in the beginning 2 areas. So yeah, a lot going on in this game. Tech, what have you been playing, man?
Well, when I get a chance to play anything, you even have to ask.
I mean, I know you've been busy, and it sounds like he cut out.
But no, I mean, you even have to ask what I've been playing.
You've been playing Skyrim, huh?
And also, Tech has that VR, so
Yeah,
how you loving that VR, man?
VR is really cool.
Skyrim VR coming this week. This coming week?
Next week. I'm not sure.
Are you gonna get VR? Are you gonna get VR Fallout 4 too?
Well, Fallout 4 is not coming to PSVR,
Oh,
or
it's
at least not that it hasn't been announced for. It only been announced for PC. So we're hoping it comes to PSVR though. Doom VR is both Skyrim VR and Doom VR is coming to PSVR. Fallout 4 is not like officially been announced.
Gotcha.
So we're not sure. But that would be cool to have on VR too.
But is that really all you've been dumping your time to when you get time to play Skyrim right now?
Pretty much messing with mods, getting the mod. Although I have the mod set up the way I want to, so I've started a playthrough. Although I had something wrong and I had to restart it.
Call of Duty World War II's out. It's out now. It's again, I'm still swearing off of Activision, but I know you like the Call of Duty franchise. It is outpacing. It's outselling. That's good news. Assassin's Creed Origins outselling Syndicate 100%. Their sales are up 100%. But also Call of Duty has sold more copies than box office sales for Wonder Woman and Thor Ragnarok combined on its opening weekend.
Really?
Yeah. So
it's kind of picked up on its sales, huh?
Yeah, yes, it has. And Activision attributes it because they're going back to their boots on the ground and returning to their roots type of gameplay style. A few criticisms with the game's loot box system dropping on Normandy Beach, but other than that, it's been getting good reviews. Are you going to jump into Call of Duty World War II, do you think?
Maybe. It's not a high priority for me, but I am interested.
Okay.
I'm interested.
It's got a zombie mode, so you get Nazi zombies.
Yeah. What I want most right now is Skyrim VR. That's what I want most right now.
I hear you. Well, we got a few topics to go through today, guys. Let's get into them. For a lot of microtransactions again in the news this week. Of course, 2K has stated in their earnings call how successful they've been in their microtransactions and digital. They call it digital sales. They lump that in with digital sales. But 2K says that they're going to have them in every game moving forward. Whether it be, they might not always be the same because obviously the game might not be online. It might be an offline game, and so
they'll still have loot crates even if it's offline.
And a lot of this is attributed to Grand Theft Auto Online, but I can honestly say, as a fan of the Grand Theft Auto series, if you're going to have microtransactions in your game, the Grand Theft Auto model is kind of the right way to do it. You know what I mean? Sure, it's a grindy online experience, but the single player is ineffective. They're non-intrusive. And then you have 2K also has the bad way to do it, which were the ways that were in NBA 2K, where it ties a lot to your progression, and your cosmetic items cost a whole hell of a lot, too much probably. What do you guys think about 2K moving forward with microtransactions in every single title ever?
Doesn't surprise me.
I'm trying to think of any 2K games that I would even care. What games do they make?
Well, of course, Rockstar is owned by 2K, and then
Well,
Okay.
they do that. They own Firaxis, Rockstar.
right.
Obviously, you're not going to have loot boxes in Civilization because that's a single player strategy game.
No, they said even Civ will have loot boxes.
Oh, it will?
Yeah.
How are they going to do loot boxes on
I
there?
don't know.
That's such a heavily modded game that any loot boxes you do, you could probably reproduce on a mod.
Right. No, I understand, but they even say that they'll be included in an upcoming, not unannounced title that'll be coming out early 2019. Of course, a lot of people are thinking that'll be a new entry in BioShock, or they heavily hinted at Randy Pitchford or Randy Bitchford, however you want to say his name.
I've seen loot boxes in
Borderlands
BioShock,
3.
Civ 6 is just, I have a hard time because it's such a heavily modded game. I mean, like so many
What
modders.
is it, BioShock Unlimited or whatever?
Do what now?
What's that one BioShock Unlimited Unleashed?
Yeah, that's that's celebrating the BioShock 10-year anniversary or something like that. Yeah.
Well, no. I mean, I have the game. There's the game. It's the third BioShock game.
BioShock Infinite.
Yeah,
Infinite.
that one. That one. Yeah. I do have that one. So that's 2K.
Yeah, that's 2K.
Of course, it doesn't have any.
The BioShock games are 2K. Borderlands is 2K. So Borderlands 3, like I said, Randy Pitchford's been heavily teasing that there will be a Borderlands 3 in the upcoming years. Yeah, they own a lot of properties over there at 2K.
Do. And good and very nice property.
XCOM is a 2K property. Could you imagine the next XCOM game having microtransactions in them? Basically, we lost, guys. I mean, the war is over. Microtransactions obviously here to stay.
What I always told you about. What I always told you about it is if it makes money, they're going to go for it.
Right, and I think it's still.
Microtransactions is the consumer, and the
Right.
consumer is not with you. The consumer says, "Yeah, we hate them, but we're going to buy it."
Well, is it really all the? It's the whales is what's getting you, because even the whales are. Even if every gamer out there, every normal gamer like me and you and Tech, never buy a loot box, right? The people who watch our channel
the normal gamer
never
says,
buy a loot box.
"This
It does not
affects my
matter.
play. I am not going to buy this game." So if most of the normal gamers do not buy the game, your whales will not matter. The trouble is,
Yeah,
selling
but
your whales,
games that
they
people want the games.
and you're right, that I
the
was-
people who says, "Well, we're not going to buy the loot boxes because we're against the loot boxes, but we're going to buy the game." So they don't lose any sales; they just gain sales.
right. But what?
They're not
But
losing anything. It's basically a win-win for them.
Yeah, it's a
regardless.
win-win.
right. But what I was getting at is that normal gamers not participating and boycotting the loot boxes doesn't matter, because the whales will still they spend enough to compensate. So the only way to show them is to not buy the game. Yeah, whales. That's what they're
What do
called.
you mean by whales?
They're the people who spend the big bucks.
Raging Sinsby,
Raging Sins is a whale. Yeah,
because he'll end up spending as much as he spent on the box game.
more. He spent about $1,000 in Elder Scrolls.
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Holy shit!
Wow.
yeah.
That's just craziness.
He's a whale.
Yeah, that's a big whale. And I bought some crowns for Elder Scrolls one time.
Now he didn't do it all at one time. This is over time since the games came out.
Right,
Yeah.
obviously,
But
yeah,
still, that's a lot of money. So
that's just craziness.
But those are your whales.
How do we get some of that money?
Exactly. So it doesn't matter if the normal gamer doesn't participate, because the other gamer will offset that. And like Tilgar said, so the only way to show the publisher is not to buy the title. The problem with that is a lot of the
nobody's gonna do that.
right.
No.
That's what I was saying. Is the problem with that is like
people.
we were talking about Star Wars Battlefront. Star Wars is a big franchise. Even your casual gamers are going to go out and buy Star Wars just because of the license and name alone. So
that's the only way to stop it, if you actually stop giving them any profits. And they're making profits.
I do think that there is a right way to do microtransactions. Obviously, cosmetics that don't bother the game. Things that maybe increase the grind a little bit, but not oversaturate the grind. Microtransactions that aren't too intrusive. There obviously are right ways to do it, but there are also very bad ways.
Model too. Always make sure you put that there. If you're free to play, which there's no free to play games, because free to play games are based on their microtransactions. So if you're playing a Dungeons and Dragons online game, those microtransactions that the other players or your whales are buying is what's supporting you to play that game for free. So, depending upon your
that I don't have a problem with, because
business model there. So I don't have no problems.
Yeah, I don't
get a lot of hate
games though.
You'll get a lot of hate on the forums about they're playing to win on DDO because they can buy these expansion scrolls or whatnot.
But it's free. But it's a free to play game.
Yeah. Yeah, you can play for free, and because those guys buy that stuff, it's allowing you to play for free because Turbine these guys ain't making these games for free. They want money.
Right.
So always state your business model too when you're stating that there. If you're a free to play game, then that's the business model that supports the income. Now, when you talk about like Call of Duty, where you're paying $60 or $100, if you're getting the extra multiplayer maps and stuff there, you're going, you want to add more shit for me to buy?
Let me get to chat real quick. Tamara says, a multi-on-COD World War II is kind of bad, but the campaign is awesome. So, Call of Duty World War II campaign is awesome.
Went back to the roots, and
the thing I worry about the multiplayer on World War II is that it's going to maybe be too much like the multiplayer on World at War, which I barely played World at War.
It was a good multiplayer. It was bare. I don't think it'll be as bare bones as. It won't be as bare bones as World at War, because remember, Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare and World at War were both bare bones, which means you unlocked you only got the 3 kill streaks, and you unlocked them at 3, 5, and 7.
I liked it in Modern Warfare. I didn't like it in World at War. I didn't like because it was basically like you said, it was basically the same thing between them, but I just didn't like it. It wasn't fun. I didn't have fun playing multiplayer in World at War. I did in Modern Warfare. I don't know why. I didn't like the guns in World at War.
Baradesh also says, only way I'll do microtransactions is if they get baked into the later release, which you'll purchase at a heavy discount. So, I don't think that microtransactions get discounted just because the game gets old. The game might get discounted. The microtransactions usually don't get discounted though throughout the game's longevity.
Now he's probably thinking of the DLCs, because sometimes you get the season pass and then
now DLC is totally different.
They get discounted.
DLC.
He may be thinking about that. So
yeah, DLC is a totally different thing from microtransaction DLC. Yeah, but anyway, all right, there is a game. What was the name of this MOBA game? MOBA takes out loot boxes. So there is some good news out there. You got a lot of people speaking out against loot boxes that are developers. So they say that they don't want to have nothing to do with loot boxes. Loot boxes is a dirty word. You know what I'm talking about, like.
Oh yeah. Well, most of them are coming from the distributors, the people who own the properties, because they make money.
Right. But
the developers are usually into, let's develop our story, let's make a good game. Not all of them, but
let me find the name of this company or the name of this game real quick. Give me just a second, guys, while I look this up. But it's a MOBA game, and I can't remember the name of it. They were using a loot box system, right? And they decided, well, we're not going to do that anymore. We've listened to player feedback, and we're going to take out the loot box system and basically let you guys buy the skins and things that you guys want, the upgrades that you want, instead of buying the randomly getting it. So
I prefer that over the random box.
Yeah, so that makes, because then you feel like you're spending the money just right.
Well, you got to remember, it's a free-to-play MOBA.
What you're getting.
Now this
So you
ain't
know
free
what
to
you're
play,
getting.
but like Elite Dangerous. You can go to their store and you can buy weapon color. And you can buy which weapon color you want. You can buy if you want something to put on your ship. In your ship and stuff, you can buy stuff like that. Nothing that helps your gameplay, but decorates out your ship and stuff.
Here we go. This is on Reddit. Here we go. Dauntless is getting rid of loot boxes. Phoenix Labs have rolled out the first major content update for Dauntless. They're free-to-play brawler where players team up in groups of 4 to fight giant monsters, forge your legends, bring a new tutorial, a Halloween-themed event, and not least of all, the transition away from its current loot box-based microtransaction model. On Thursday, Phoenix Labs hosted a roundtable. Of course, this would be a week ago.
How long will it last?
It hosted a roundtable to talk about the new update and announce their plans to drop loot boxes in favor of a system they feel is more player first. Quote, one of the things that we felt has not been the rest of the experience is the best of experiences is our loot box monetization. This is design creator Chris Claro. He said, we're going to be moving away from that as our primary monetization to a more bespoke model like Warframe and Path of Exile, where you'll be able to choose and pick the things you want to purchase rather than go through a gotcha box method. We feel like it's more player first in how it works, and it also reflects a changing interest in our community. So, and that'll be the long term. It's a free to play game. There's still going to be microtransactions in there, but they're not gonna do the loot box system. They're gonna do a more buy the things you want type method, which is good. It's a good thing. And then of course, there have been some other developers out there that say that they're not going to include the loot boxes. Thankfully, somehow, Sony first party studios not doing loot boxes. Even Horizon Zero Dawn had loot boxes in it, but you couldn't buy them with real money. You can't use any, there wasn't any microtransactions in the game. So you couldn't buy anything with real world money. But there was loot boxes in Horizon Zero Dawn. But like I said,
Well, you remember too that
couldn't buy them.
Call of Duty Advanced Warfare had those supply drops, but you didn't use real money. Well, I think maybe you could, but you didn't have to. Like, it was all like you were awarded them like after matches and stuff.
Oh, you could buy those.
Yeah, that's right. You could buy them, but you also just pretty much after every match you got one too.
And if we're doing loot boxes in multiplayer games, I think cosmetics are generally okay. People are usually complaining, like, I don't like the cosmetics being there, but whatever. We gotta have the microtransactions. I would rather it be cosmetic than progression. That was one of the big problems I found with the Star Wars Battlefront 2. And the problem is, you can tell EA with the negative feedback want to change their loot box system with Star Wars Battlefront 2. They've already took the star cards out of the loot boxes and put them behind progression. But basically, what they've done is they've only added an extra grind to get those in place. So now you've got a grind on top of a grind, which doesn't really help matters. But I mean, it fixes it to where it's not necessarily pay to win anymore. But now it's going to be really, really super grindy. You know what I mean? Like, so the only way to fix that would be to rework the entire game and the entire system, and they're not going to be able to do that in time for its release. So, and there's still buffs and stuff behind the loot boxes. Some of the progression stuff is still in the loot boxes, so that's a problem. And I see people trying to correct, we had this problem and going back and trying to correct it now. So maybe they've learned a lesson for the next time, you know what I mean? To make that experience better instead of so intrusive and bothersome, if you know what I mean. But what do you guys think?
I mean,
Yeah. Go ahead.
It's going to be who controls the bank. If they're saying, well, we're losing profits and our stock prices are going down.
I'm not saying they're going anywhere. I'm saying I'm not saying they're going away. I'm saying the way they're implemented will change. There'll probably be a new standard or something like.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If the new way that it implements loses profitability, they could end up going back old ways. Like I said, money talk is what talk.
Right.
So, now there are some that can go against the grain. You do have those. Don't get me wrong, but in general, if a system's working the way it is, until you start showing either a drop off or we usually, unless you start showing a drop off, then you don't really change your stuff. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of deal.
Right. Got you. Moving right along, let's get out of the microtransactions and leave that behind us and talk about some positive stuff in gaming. PlayStation trophies equal real money. You can now trade in your PlayStation. What do you guys think about this? You can trade in your PlayStation trophies for points on money. Of course, this doesn't go back retroactively. This is talking about the trophies that you're currently earning.
So like trophies you already have, you can't trade them in.
Right.
Oh, that stinks.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they're just not going to give out free money like that. But I think it's.
Come on, it's only money.
I don't know what the. Let's see what the conversion rate is. But PlayStation trophies for money. Very small amount of money. This is according to Kotaku. Here's the breakdown: 100 silver trophies for 100 points, or 1 point per trophy. 25 gold trophies for 250 points, or 10 points per trophy. And then to platinum trophies, 1,000 points, or 100 points per trophy. And then what's the conversion from points to dollars? I think it's 1,000 points to equal $10 or something like that. So, what do you guys think of that? I think it's a neat little reward program.
Yeah, it sounds neat.
Yeah, it sounds pretty cool.
Nobody's going to become millionaires off of earning the trophies, Of course,
no, but maybe you can get some games out of it or something.
Yeah. There you go. That'd be awesome. Platinum a game for $10. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think it's a neat thing. It's pretty cool.
And there's a lot of ways to control that. It's cash, but it's only cash that you can spend at the store.
Yeah, right.
And then in their store they can limit what you can buy with that cash. So there's ways to limit it.
Right.
What you can buy and stuff. So it's probably a good move on the company's part. I mean, I don't play PlayStation, so.
Yeah, it's just one of those quality of life things that seems to be cool.
It's always, if you have something that's 10% on sale versus something that's the same price but not on sale, usually the person's going to buy what's the thing that's on sale, even though it's the same price as the thing that wasn't on sale, because it said it was 10% off. That's the way people think. Most people, not everybody. If you go, if you talk to stores, that's how some of them will market it. They'll have, oh yeah, we'll up our prices here, and yeah, we'll give you 10% off. Well, you're really not getting 10% off. They up their prices, and it's just selling as much as everybody else's. It's just they're technically on sale. But no, this is it makes the consumer feel like they're getting something, which is always nice. If you feel like you got something, hey, I played their games and I'm getting something back. It's the same way with your charge cards. Hey, I'm getting cash back every time I use the charge card. Well, you're paying for that, with your interest rates and all that. Unless you're paying everything off right away, So, so, and of course they're charging that back to the retailers, which will end up charging that in cost to you back to the consumer again. Depending upon how much you have to pay on those cards and stuff. It's all good. It makes the consumer feel like they're getting something.
Here you go. developers are rushing to support the Twitch, and we're talking about third-party developers. The Switch has the Nintendo Switch has sold really, really well. It's been outpacing the PS4 and Xbox One X over the past few months, and developers want in on some of that money. Of course, there is some good news to be had that third-party support is on the way. However, there is some bad news because games take a long time to make. So, but what are you guys thinking about more third parties being built from the ground up for the Switch? Of course, we're already getting ports of past third party games like Doom came out and on the Switch, and Skyrim came out over the past week, and then you've got LA Noire coming down the road. But anyway, what do you guys think about new games coming to the Switch?
Hey, if Nintendo can start getting some like third party games and becoming, I mean, they've always been relevant, but like more relevant to me. Maybe, you know, I might get another Nintendo system for the first time since the Nintendo 64.
I want it for its portability. You know, take my games. I want it to replace my Vita. You know what I mean? Take the Switch and get a good, solid first party lineup, which Sony kind of abandoned the Vita. At least there was a good indie lineup and a good third party lineup. But as far as Sony first party games,
still supported for PlayStation Plus, but yeah, there's not really much new stuff for it.
Right. I'm talking about like Sony developed stuff.
Right.
Yeah, they just didn't support it very long. So if I've got a solid handheld that has solid first party support on it and it's getting awesome third party ports, dude, I'm down. Yeah, that's totally a system I want to invest on in the future. Tilgar, what were you want to say?
Yeah, I was going to say it's overall it's a good thing. I mean, I didn't think the Switch was going to sell as well as it did. I'm glad I was surprised about that.
You don't think mobile gaming's that big of a deal or anymore? Or?
No mobile game, but there's a downtrend on mobile gaming right now.
Yeah, but you see, that's the thing.
It's
like
nice to be able to play your game on your PC or.
But I think it's a nice thing. Hopefully, it doesn't become like the Wii. You know, when Wii first come out, you know, it was man, everybody had that Wii, couldn't keep it on the shelves.
But that's the thing. We constantly say that consoles are downtrending. We said that at the end of the last gen, and then what happened when the PS4 and Xbox came out? You know, they sold like millions and millions and huge numbers, huge quantities. And then we say that about, you know, just because the Vita doesn't do well or the PSP doesn't do well, that mobile gaming is in a downward trend and everybody's moving to phones. But then the 3DS sold buku numbers last time around, and the Nintendo Switch is selling buku numbers this time around. I think Nintendo knows that market, and I think it was a smart move doing a hybrid where, you know, you can hook this thing up to your TV and play it like a normal console.
No, I agree. I think it's smart stuff. I just hope it doesn't become like the Wii.
Right.
You know, Wii. You know, you remember the Wii?
Because basically it gets both the mobile gaming market, like where people want to have a handheld that they can carry around, but also the console, because it's the best of both worlds. Basically, you can take it around with you and you can hook it up to your TV.
Yeah.
The main thing is, I think the main success, if they get these third-party publishers and they commit hard to the Nintendo, I think would be.
And look, this Doom
better success. So.
Having a game like Doom on their system, sure, sure, it's not as pretty as the PS4 or the Xbox port. Sure, it's not nowhere near as pretty as a PC port, and you know there's some blurring and things like that, but it still works at 60 FPS and it works on the go. That's a huge deal.
Now, what helped sell some of that Switch though was Zelda.
That's true.
And
so keep in mind, let's see how you know if the third party comes through.
But the third parties that are
first party strong support it, then I think it'll be successful. If it doesn't, like what happened to the Wii, you know.
Well,
I think the cool thing about it too is
I'm not saying that's what it is. It sounds like they're going the right direction. Don't get me wrong. I'm playing, you know, devil's advocate there.
Go ahead, Tech.
One of the cool things about it too, though, is like with the Vita, the Vita, it made it to where you could play your PlayStation 4 away from your TV or whatever. But it was through remote play, so you had to
have an internet connection. Network. Yeah.
Whereas the Switch, it's mobile from the get go and just has the ability to connect to your TV.
Yes.
So it's not streaming; it's actually right there
on
natively.
The handheld is the system. Yeah.
Right. Which is really cool. I like that idea of having it handheld and then hook it up to your TV and everything. So it's no streaming involved. It's like, so you got it on the big screen when you want it. When you can, you're on the go. You got it on the go too. You don't, and if you don't have an internet connection, that won't stop you from playing.
One of the big things, though, is we're seeing high attach rates for the system. So if you own a Switch, the Switch owners are gobbling up every game, and in high numbers, in high volume. So like Doom did very, very well. Skyrim did very, very well. Of course, they're not as high numbers as
third-party games like these have been on a Nintendo system.
It's been a generation. Early Wii U, the first cycle of games for the Wii U. That's how long it's been. That's been a long time. The Wii U got announced. I think it was in 2011, 2012, somewhere in there.
Wow, really that long ago?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then even the Wii didn't have that much third-party support. I mean, it had some, but not like...
It maybe had a few, but they were like really like...
There's a lot of shovelware on the Wii.
Yeah.
Because of motion
they
controls.
did have like Call of Duty 4, I think, but it wasn't like the full experience like you got on.
So you've not seen third-party support coming to the Switch. You've not seen third-party support ramping up like this, like it is now, since probably the GameCube era. That's a long time.
Yeah.
So
that would be great because I've kind of I thought about and actually son a Wii, so we've had a Wii, and actually my oldest son had a GameCube at some point. So, but I never played it or anything like that, and I never really played the Wii either. When the Wii U came out, I thought about it because it also had that handheld kind of thing too, but it was not like how the Switch is doing it. And the Switch, the Switch is probably like the closest I really thought about getting a Nintendo in a while. And like I said, I have been thinking about it. I did think about it on the other systems, but I ended up not. But yeah, I think I wouldn't mind getting a Switch at some point.
Okay. Yeah, Nintendo. Go Nintendo. I don't agree with the way they handle their online streaming and their copyright claims on video content and how they think that fair use isn't a thing. But hey, man, I've always been a big fan of Nintendo. I like Mario. I like Zelda. I like Metroid. I love Nintendo properties. And it's good to see. One of the biggest problems I've always had is I want a system that plays Nintendo games and all my other games, or games that my adult style games too, so that I can use it as my system, my children's system, the family system. You know what I mean? I think that's
right.
So it's good to see them getting support again.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind playing a new Mario too, to be honest. I haven't played a new Mario games before.
And Mario Odyssey is a big shout out, love letter to Mario 64. So there you go.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Mario 64 was a lot of fun. I really loved it. Yeah. And all the Mario games prior to that. I think the only Mario game I never finished prior to Mario 64 was probably Super Mario Brothers 2, because I just never could get into that. It's just kind of a lot different from the other.
Well, yeah, but different's good. I liked it. A lot of games on early Nintendo tried to do that. A lot of games on the original NES tried to do that. Every time they came out with a sequel, like Castlevania 2, Simon's Quest, very much different from Castlevania 1. Legend of Zelda 2, very much different. It was a side scroller pretty much compared to Legend of Zelda's top down free roam. You know what I mean? Every game tried to be something different when it came to the number 2 portion.
Right.
But
although I did like Zelda 2, the Adventure of Link. I did like it actually, even though it was pretty different. Could
Xbox One X games be coming to PlayStation 4?
Of course,
Microsoft
Wonderwop says Zelda 2 is bad. Said I liked it.
could Microsoft be publishing third-party games, become a third-party publisher in the future? According to Phil Spencer, it's not too far-fetched, but no plans anytime soon. He backed it up over Twitter that we ship Minecraft everywhere to every platform like PlayStation 4 now, but we have no plans on to expand on that in the future. However, he was telling Bloomberg and the Wall Street Journal that it could be a possibility as they want to further grow their business and start developing some more first-party studios from the ground up, or purchasing studios to bring into their fold so that they can become bigger content creators moving down the road that can potentially find their software running on any platform. What do you guys think about that?
I think it's probably a good move for them unless they decide to start supporting their own platform religiously, because they haven't.
Right. I think I think one of the things that hurts Xbox right now is the fact that there aren't, like, you look at like Sony PlayStation's lineup, right? We've talked about this time and time again. They're out beating the Xbox exclusive 5-1. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. For every one Xbox exclusive, there's 5 PlayStation exclusives, and that's really hurt Xbox. And this has been hurting them since the launch message.
And what's really exclusive, because most of the Xbox exclusives are also Windows.
Right. And
right, so it's like you don't even need them.
Like me, if they're trying to get my business, because I'm not a console player, but if I decide I want to buy a console, I have a PC and I invest a lot of money onto my PC. So what am I going to buy? I'm going to buy the PlayStation, because there are a lot of games, good games, that I cannot play that are on the PS4.
I think it's good that they're
Sony.
Addressing the problem.
I don't want them to put a lot of really good games that aren't available on PC or PS4 on Xbox, because I don't want to have to buy an Xbox.
I do. I would like to buy an Xbox. I want a reason to buy an Xbox, though.
I don't want
There has to be a reason.
But if I don't have to spend money on something like that, I don't want to. I'd rather be able to have everything. PlayStation, PC. I don't want to have to buy a third thing every generation.
To tell you the truth, if it was me, I'd say have everything available for the PC.
Well, yeah.
But
that would be good too.
You're looking at their business model.
They're looking at their business and protecting their business.
I get it.
If you're going to support your platform, then try and become a third party.
Right. I get that. I understand that.
And having
from a consumer perspective, I don't want to.
But since they are far behind,
but from a consumer perspective,
we'll stop the support for Xbox, and maybe they get out of the console business altogether.
From a consumer's perspective, though, I can kind of disagree with you there, because I don't think you want any more than the 3 systems we got for consoles. But you definitely want all 3 of them there. You want I'm not talking PC. I said consoles. You want all 3 of them to succeed. You want Nintendo to do well. You want PlayStation to do well, and you want Xbox to do well, because you don't want all the games on PlayStation.
No.
Because if PlayStation has say on what's on their platform and what's not on their platform, it stifles creativity. So you want all 3. The market is what's going to drive the creativity here. So you want
drives up prices too if you want to have.
Right, that's another thing. So you kind of want the 3 platforms.
What if everything was on PC though, and you didn't need console?
I think PC is still consoles are plug and play. Like right now, you can go out and that's one of the things that I can honestly say about a console is you bring it home, you hook it up to your TV, and it just works. Mm-hmm. Sure, you might have to download a patch, but it automatically does it for you. It's very simple. Mm-hmm. You don't have to go looking for the right driver to get this working or
True.
It's very simple, and people like that simple. And one of the things that I was getting ready to say a minute ago is if Xbox can pick up their first parties, even if they're releasing their first party titles on PC, if they can pick up their first party lineup and start producing more first party games with an Xbox One X 4K gaming machine that sells cheaper than a PC, 4K gaming machine, then I think that's a home run.
Yeah. And for those of us that already have a PC, then it's like, okay, well, that's one less thing we have to buy is because we can already play them on PC.
But do you have a 4K gaming PC?
Well,
can you
get 4K monitored?
But okay, I know you've got the graphics card, but can your processor and RAM run that game smoothly on Windows 10 with the Windows 10 anniversary update and all the other things that are in the background process that are slowing things down? Because you got to think, those consoles, they only have to worry about one thing: running the game.
True.
That's true. But what's coming out that's 4K for Xbox anyway, for the 4K system?
Do what?
Besides
That's what I'm saying. Is there's not a lot, but Phil Spencer was telling Bloomberg and Wall Street Journal that they are expanding. They are buying some studios, going out and purchasing other studios to bring into the fold, and they're also building new ones from the ground up to increase their first party output. And that's what I was saying. It was a good move.
But is it going to use the full potential of the 4K?
I hope so. But again, we're talking about a lot of time. This isn't something that's going to correct itself overnight. This is years in the making plan. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, and for a long-term goal, but sometimes things change because your stock prices go down and people go, well, this is crap.
Right. But anyway, let's see here. What else we got? We got Disney. Let's do a little bit of entertainment news. I don't want to stick on this too long. But apparently, Disney and Fox were in negotiations. Yeah. Disney was going to buy Fox. That was the idea.
That was the rumor. That's what I heard.
Because Fox needs money.
That, yeah.
Fox needs money to expand their network opportunities. So this could have given Disney some pretty hefty 21st Fox Studios licenses and TV licenses, which would have been great for their streaming out service.
And since
reconnect the Marvel universe,
right? I was gonna say because 20th Century Fox had X-Men.
Well, there's not just
Marvel universe.
Even though that would have been great for us Marvel geeks out there wanting X-Men and Fantastic Four to jump back into the MCU. That's not the only thing that was up for grabs, though. There's a lot of properties over at Fox. A lot.
And hey, guess what? That means we could have the 20th Century Fox fanfare at the beginning of Star Wars.
But The Simpsons would have went to Disney. Could you imagine Simpsons at Disney?
Being with Disney.
I mean, think about it, guys. Think of the big Fox franchises that.
But
wow.
I mean, isn't there? Don't you feel like that's the one thing? The new Star Wars movies, no 20th Century Fox fanfare at the beginning.
Right. Yeah,
that's just like Right.
Yeah, I feel you. But apparently, negotiations did. Hey Zephyr, what's up, buddy? Apparently, the negotiations did break down rather quickly as both parties walked away, and some people were saying that they're on hiatus. Some people saying no, they're over a period, but. After it was the news broke, stock prices for both companies went up. So they might want to start these negotiations again. You know what I mean? Like, let's really talk and hash this out. So,
right.
Oh, I'll respond during podcast if it's. Usually I don't as much unless it's as critical to the. To the topics at hand, but I do respond to chat still, and I love your faces and appreciate you guys being here as always. Let's see what else we got in here. There might be a new 2D Zelda coming in the near future. That's awesome. That was a hiring post went up. Nintendo looking for someone directly to work on, and they hinted at what could be a 2D Zelda. I think that about wraps it up. There is one more thing. I guess Ubisoft in their earnings call suggested that the PlayStation 5 might be on its way sooner than we think, possibly as early as 2019. PlayStation 5 in 2019. Wow. Apparently this wouldn't be as big of a leap as PlayStation 2 to PlayStation 3. Obviously, it would be more like the iteration that we have seen now from PS4 to PS4 Pro, and then PS4 Pro to whatever's next.
Games, basically,
right.
Everything.
And we already know from Sony that whatever next is in development, is it an actually true next-gen console? How iterative is it? Xbox is...
Does this mean that every console, every newer console, like the older consoles may get to the point where they can't play the games on the newer one, but the newer ones will still be able to play all the older games?
That's a good question, because we have had compatibility. We've had compatibility issues in the past, and since it's been so popular, I think that you want to keep your games in the same family and really build around the same. If they stick to x86 architecture for PlayStation 5 and for the Xbox, I don't see why you couldn't. And obviously, Xbox has had more success porting stuff over than Sony has, because Sony would have to...
They were always x86, weren't they?
They were always x86, exactly. And Sony's had a big problem because they've had a lot of their stuff cell processor, and trying to convert the cell processor stuff over to the x86 stuff just doesn't work very well. That, and it costs a whole lot of money to do it. So,
but what about games that were available PlayStation 3 and Xbox and PC? How did they get it all to work? So,
well, you got to remember the early ports for the cell processor. It's different coding. That's why a lot of the early PS3 ports didn't run as well. But finally they figured it out. But it is a different code. So I don't know.
But again, they did figure it out. So
they did figure it out.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It's weird. I don't know why. I don't know why they can't port the PC versions over to the PS. But we're talking about putting your PS3 games in the PS4 too. That's a different format of game. It's not, like the Xbox games and the Xbox 360 games, putting them in the Xbox One X didn't work either. They spent a lot of money going back and doing that. And when you're on top, when you're selling the most consoles, do you really worry about that quality of life issue, or do you let the competitor worry about it? The one that doesn't have enough all the games coming out.
Right.
So, yeah, there's that. So, new consoles probably on the way, though. I think it's still a little too soon.
This at least might avoid that problem in the future,
right?
If they keep on the same architecture.
But we had a console release the end of 2013, so that would put it
PlayStation 4.
Yeah, so that would put it right at
6 years.
6 years, yeah. Wow, it went by fast, guys. 6 years goes by so fast. So, let's see. And
Sony still supports PlayStation 3 right now too. I mean, to a certain extent. I mean, I don't really think any new. What's the last new game that came out for PlayStation 3 that you can remember? Like something that stands out in your memory anyway.
The Last of Us and Grand Theft Auto 5. The Last of Us, Grand Theft Auto 5, Batman Arkham Origins. 2013 was a great year, man. I'll fight you over that.
They also, after PlayStation 4 came out, there was that one Assassin's Creed game that only came out on PlayStation 3 or
Assassin's Creed Rogue. Yeah, it came out at the same time the Unity did, and it was actually good. Actually, it's on PC as well. I thought about picking it up on PC.
I'm trying to think of what. Well, we know like the last Call of Duty game to also come out on PlayStation 3 was Black Ops 3, but it was not even the full game. It was like a very limited version of the game.
Here's one more interesting thing to talk about right before we get off, and we'll wrap up here in just a minute. Xbox One X came out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Sony says specs don't matter. Of course, Sony being the top dog this generation, outselling the Xbox five units to one. And I'm not making that up. For every one Xbox, there's 5 PlayStation 4s. Specs don't matter, and I think they're talking and referring to their first party lineups. Do you think specs matters if there's no games to play on the system?
If there's no games, then no, specs matter, because you got to have games, obviously. You can have like the best ultra specs there is, but if you got no games for it, then what's the point?
Well, okay, let me put it this way. Say both systems have the same third-party software, right? Assassin's Creed Origins, for example, is on Xbox One X, and it's on the PlayStation 4 Pro. But you get Forza on PlayStation 4 Pro, but you're getting The Last of Us 2 coming up on PlayStation. You're getting Forza on the Xbox, and you're getting Last of Us 2 on the PlayStation. Or you're getting a new Gears of War game versus a new God of War game.
I don't care about Gears of War or Forza. So
that's what I'm saying. Would you rather have the exclusives or the graphics for your third-party flats?
Oh, like if I'm basically going to get the same game.
Yeah, you're making a purchasing decision. You have to pick one or the other.
So,
do you get the one with the third-party games, the less fidelity, but the same third-party games and more first-party games, or do you buy the system with bigger specs?
I'd go for the one with more first-party games.
Yep, I agree. The industry obviously agrees with you too. I'm just saying it's.
Yeah, I mean, specs are important to a certain extent because you do want like things to improve with each generation.
Right.
Graphics to get nicer looking, and I mean that's been the whole drive since the beginning. Is like that graphics getting better and better and better. You know,
Zephyro says specs matter. Tell that to Nintendo, because let me tell you, they're somewhere in between a PlayStation 3 and a PlayStation 4 right now. They're outselling everybody. So tell that to Nintendo that specs matter, because they'll tell you that they don't.
Nintendo's outselling everybody now?
The past few months, they have outsold everybody the past 3 months.
Even PlayStation?
Yep.
But again, that's because they're putting more games on part of it.
Yeah, but this isn't overall sales. I mean, they'll never catch up to the PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? Like, that's just crazy talk.
This is just talking about current sales.
Right.
And that probably part of that is because they might be getting people who already have an Xbox or a PlayStation 4.
Right.
So obviously more people are going to be buying what they don't already have. So that would kind of contribute to it outselling the others because most people already own the others.
Right. Togar, you haven't said anything in a minute? What you got?
Huh?
I said you haven't said anything in a minute. What
no. I don't have much.
But
okay.
I think if Nintendo though like keeps this up and keeps getting more both first party and third party games, that it could start taking a bigger share of the market. Because I think that's the part of the thing with the Nintendo. They didn't have. I mean, they had some third party stuff, but it's just a lot of the first party Nintendo stuff. There's very few first party Nintendo things that I really, really care about. You know, but there are things that I wouldn't mind playing if I also had the ability to play some of the third party stuff as well, like Like, I wouldn't buy a system just for some of the first-party Nintendo games, but if I'm also getting some of that other stuff I want as well, and then can throw in some first-party Nintendo stuff as well, then, hey, that's a different story. You know what I mean? It's the same for, like, I wouldn't just buy a PlayStation if all it had was, first-party games.
Right.
And
I get you.
With Xbox.
I get you.
What I'm saying, right?
You got to have that perfect balance.
Right.
I hear you. I hear you. I said that was going to be the last thing. I do have one more thing. GameStop. Let's talk about GameStop for a minute. They've implemented $60 for 6 months. You can. It's basically renting the pre-owned games. If they're available, you can pick any pre-owned game that you want for the $60. What?
And rent it?
And rent it. So you can bring that game back and trade it as many times as you want to at the 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, you get to pick one and keep that one. That's yours to keep.
So you buy your game and then you can just keep trading it in for other
games? No.
The
pre-owned games. It's a $60 service to rent the pre-owned section.
You pay $60 one time.
You pay $60 one time, and you can trade in the pre-owned game as many times as you want to for other pre-owned titles throughout the 6 months. At the end of the 6 months, you get to keep that game, or one of the games, or one of them. Yeah.
Okay, so it's basically like $10 a month.
Yeah, it's $10 a month.
But you pay it all at once for $60.
Right.
And then during that time you get pre-owned games, play them, bring them back, get another pre-owned game, play it, bring it back, and then after 6 months you can keep one, whichever one. It's not the last one. You can like just pick one to keep, basically a pre-owned game to keep, basically.
Right.
That might be actually a pretty cool idea.
That is a very cool idea. I'm very on board with that, especially someone who goes through as many games as I do.
That wouldn't be a bad deal at all, really.
What do you think, Tilger?
I think it's a good idea. It keeps them relevant because I think GameStop within
it keeps them relevant for now.
10 and 20 years they'll probably be
what happens when
unless they change their business model.
Right, exactly, Tech. What happens when when everything's digital? Also, what happens when the availability for games is low on the pre-orders? So let's say a game gets popular and
the selection really sucks for those pre.
Right. Well, apparently it's their entire pre-order selection, but some GameStops have better pre-owned selections than other GameStops. But I think overall it's a good idea.
Any GameStop though, too. What if it doesn't have to be the same one? You can take it to a different GameStop.
Go ahead, Tuller.
I was going to say, for GameStop though, that's just a stopgap. They need to try to develop a digital platform.
Well, I like this. I like this idea because it gets people back in their store. You know what I mean?
It does, but the trouble is long term. And I could be wrong. Maybe brick and mortar for digital game. Computer games
maybe this is.
I don't know.
Maybe this is short term, but think about it this way: for the short term, you're getting people back into your store, and when they're coming back, they see, oh, you don't just sell games. You also sell T-shirts now. You also sell toys now. And you also sell. You know what I mean? Like.
But that's why I say it's a stopgap. I say it's a stopgap because they got to change their business model. Because in 20 years, 10 years, 20 years, are they? How long can they keep this up?
Right, I agree with Tilgar. They do have to.
Sony's going digital, Xbox going digital, Nintendo's doing digital. I mean, writing's on the wall.
Right. So. No, I agree, but I think it's neat.
Stopgap. I didn't say it was a bad idea. It says stopgap manager.
I think it's a brilliant move because it gets people back into your store now to show what your next move is after
and I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying it's still a stopgap manager. Any way you look at it, still.
But if they are like selling other types of things beyond just games, like obviously you're still gonna want a place where you can go buy the systems.
Mm-hmm.
too, because even if the games are digital, the systems themselves
they are not. You're correct.
Right. And so they can sell extra merchandise, accessories like T-shirts, like you said, toys. But they still, as far
at GameStop,
as
how many people are buying their systems at GameStop? How many? I don't know. I haven't visited GameStop God forever.
Well, I did buy my PSVR at GameStop. So
I'm just thinking most of your initial consoles are sold Walmart.
Oh, and WonderOp just brought a point. The whole platinum shit.
What?
It's a real good way to platinum shit, so that you get more money from PlayStation to have more money in your digital account.
Right. But I also see what Tilgar is saying, and I too, is that they do need to have some sort of a digital platform as well. Although
they need to change.
Don't they already have a way, in a way, not like digital downloads, but you can they do have an online store, but they're going to have to get into selling the digital copy.
Well, they're already selling digital codes for cash, and they're already publishing their own games digitally and things like that. So yeah, we are seeing an evolution of GameStop. Yeah,
because if you look at the traditional mall across, and that's where a lot of GameStops are at, and the traditional malls are what's happened to it. What's happened to the traditional mall?
Well, we've not had a traditional mall for a while. We have the strip malls, you know what I mean, the brick and mortar.
Strip malls are on the rise,
right?
And so.
And that's where our GameStops is in the strip malls. So.
But another standpoint on that too is, say you're a gamer on a budget and you can only buy so many games, but you'd like to be able to play.
Yeah, this is great.
Way for you to play more games.
And actually, I didn't discount that. I think it's great too. But like I said again, I think it's a stopgap measure.
Yeah. I mean, they do. It's going to have to, as far as the game sales themselves, they got to.
Unless the industry changes, which can always happen.
Right. For now, the industry still publishes physical copies, but who knows how long that's going to stay. I mean, look at the comic book business. They still publish physical comics, but that's it's dying. But it's also moving to digital. The comic, they also make digital copies for every comic they publish now too. So. That's how they're kind of keeping that alive, I think, too.
A good example, if you want to try to use as an example, is your
the music industry.
Music industry, bookstores, because the bookstores are following the wayside like the music industry. Look at God, when's the last time you saw
iTunes? Exactly. I agree.
And like I said, the business model it could change in the future. You never know exactly what's going on. I just think.
And TV and movies are going the same way. You've got Vudu outrising the DVDs, Blu-ray sales. You've got Netflix on the rise. You got Amazon. You've got the digital rentals from Sony and from Amazon.
I mean, you look at all this here, and you got direct. All the cable companies have movies you can rent. Direct to TV. So. Everything's going to the digital age, and I don't see it turn back. I mean,
and I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing either, because what's cool about your digital stuff.
EMP comes out and knocks out the electricity in the United States. And we have
you know what? Here's the thing, though.
But we'd have more to worry about than.
Yeah, you'd have a lot more to worry about. The thing with the digital, though,
worry about my entertainment.
How many times physical copies they get scratched, they get ruined, they get broken. Your physical readers, like DVD players, CD players, there's a lot of mechanical parts, and sooner or later they stop working.
And digital's got to be cheaper to produce.
It's cheaper to produce, which it lowers the cost for the consumer. I think it's I'm all down with digital.
But as a business model for GameStop, that's what I'm saying. They gotta, and I'm sure they're working. I mean, I'm not familiar with what they're involved in doing stuff, but to me,
right. I don't think this is a long-term solution to GameStop, but I do think it's a good short-term solution. Get them in the store now.
That's why it's a stopgap system for right now. So.
Get them in the store now. Let them see what else we're doing. And start future-proofing our business
But to future-proof the business, and like I said, getting in the stores, make sure you're getting them get into your consumers' hands. Here's our digital store. Here's
Right.
our digital games that we're publishing. Make sure that's getting into your consumers'
That
hands.
or hey, do you see the T-shirt? Did you see the clothing section? Did you see the? We have this. I didn't know GameStop sells comic books too.
Oh, I didn't know.
Oh, really?
Yep. They don't put them out on the shelves. My GameStop does because I saw somebody in there buying comics. Like, when did y'all start selling comics? He's like, we do, but we don't. He said we usually have a limited selection, and usually only the diehards ask for them, and we don't put them on the shelf. So, but we do it.
Did you see what Tamara put about GameFly?
If you want to rent games, use GameFly. Yeah, that's true.
The only thing is GameFly is a little bit expensive though. Like it's usually $15 to $20 something.
And GameFly is digitally streamed, isn't it? Or do they mail you the game?
A stream. They do have a digital platform like where you can play some streaming or downloaded games too.
Okay.
But they also have like the physical copy thing. It's been a while since I've used GameFly, but I used to actually use GameFly.
Netflix has PlayStation Now, which doesn't work that great at the moment, but it will. You know, it's streaming content. PlayStation Now.
Netflix has PlayStation.
PlayStation has PlayStation Now. Excuse me. Did I say that wrong?
I was saying you said Netflix. So I'm going, what?
I'm sorry. I apologize. PlayStation has.
Oh,
PlayStation has PlayStation Now, which is a Netflix type of service. You know.
Here's another thing. Samsung TVs, the newer Samsung Smart TVs, have a Steam Link app where you can stream your Steam games from your PC to your TV.
There you go.
See there. I mean, everything's going real easy, digital use, lower cost. So that's why I say GameStop's relevancy.
And what's the Xbox Game Pass? You know. That's a thing too.
Well, Stan has my volume low. Part of the reason why, like, I'll be trying to talk and they'll like kind of ignore me.
he can overpower. To be fair, though, out of all three participants here, Tech's voice is the most overpowering. So that's why I have to turn him down to a level to where it doesn't carry over everybody else.
Voice.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get it.
It's not because I don't like Tech. Obviously, I love him. He's here. But I do have to...
No, you just tolerate me.
I do have to turn him down so that...
I forgot who you were, man.
Do have to turn... Sometimes I have to turn Tilgar down too, man. Yeah, Tilgar gets off on his tangents.
Yeah, I did get on some tangents.
But anyway, guys, I think that's going to wrap it up for me. And thank you guys for participating in the podcast. Thank you guys for watching, the live viewers. If you're watching this on Friday as it rolls out on the YouTube, thank you as well so much. Remember that you can watch it live Thursday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come and chat it up with us. We'll read your comments as long as it pertains to the topic. We want to put out a quality product out there for you guys. And yeah, thank you guys so much. Until next time, guys, remember to love your face. And we'll catch you on the flip side. Y'all have a good one.